listening to the Big T Talks podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Big T here, the Big T Talks podcast. We are January 31st, the last day of the year, Wednesday morning. I just got a little something I want to talk about today. I was going to wait till Thursday to put this out, but, I really felt kind of motivated and pumped up and excited to do it. Monday's motivation podcast that went out, man, I got the most feedback ever on it. I'm still getting messages on it. I'm still getting comments on it. I'm still getting views, and it definitely keeps you pumped up and keeps you excited about it when you're doing something, when you are getting that feedback. Especially when I first started out, when I started out on Podbean and Anchor doing this podcast, I would get like 4, 6, people to listen to it. And that was over, I can go back and look at them now and, they've been up there for like 6, 7 months and they only have like 10 or 12 listens, and I put this one out on Monday, the Monday morning, episode 2 of Monday Morning Motivation. And, on Spreaker, it's at like 34 listens. On YouTube, I think it's at like 29 listens. You can't see the iTunes analytics yet. I'm still waiting for them to approve it so I can get on the back end with Uconnect. So, Facebook comments, it had shares. Like, that right there is why I'm doing this. I've had people, message me and say you hit the nail on the head with this one, and, this one's fire, and, that one, that episode was spot on, and I'm hoping that's what you guys get out of this one too. So let's get into it. Today I want to talk about branding, personal branding, building your brand. What does it mean to you? What it means to me, what I've done, what I've failed in doing, and kind of where I see the progression of my branding going, and what I think I can give you guys to help you guys out with it. This might not relate to everyone in everyone's field, but if you are in the industry of selling yourself, which I think all of us are, no matter what, even if you're just trying to get a job at a place, you still need to sell yourself. Everyone does some sort of selling. You got to build a brand. I had a meeting the other day, a lunch meeting with a close friend, Ron Enright, who's, getting ready to write a book, kind of an autobiography about, his life and his journeys and his struggles and, what he's overcome and, things he's battled with and, where he's at now. And he's working on, a live, vlog, podcasting, that's getting ready to come out too. And he's only done one episode and he hasn't released anything yet because he's still working on his branding. He's working with, a designer. He's working with, a ghostwriter for his book. He's working with, an agency to create his whole package, get all of his logos and branding and everything down, get his website set up and running. And that is freaking awesome. That, honestly, that is probably how you should do it. You need to get everything in order. Get your idea, put your idea down on paper, figure out what it is you want to do, how you are going to do it, and then start working on all your other stuff. I, myself, Big T the Barber, Big T Cuts, the Big T Talks podcast, The Business of Barbering, Chop Shop NW, Chop Shop XOXO, all of those really didn't get sat down and penciled out and formatted before we went. And that's never really been my style. It works for me. I like to run and gun. I'll create it as I go. I want to get out there. It was probably 2 years before I got a Big T the Barber logo, and I tried to brand it. So, I switched out the barber part to the talks part, to try to keep everything, similar, like, branded together, kind of linked together. So For me, that's how it works for me. There's no wrong way to do it, but if you want to set yourself up for success and have a little less stress and things to go more smoothly, and then when you do launch, your brand or your branding for yourself personally, for your company, for whatever it is you're doing, your sports team, and me in the hair industry, as you as a hairstylist or you as a barber, it doesn't matter where you work at. It doesn't matter where you cut hair. You are a subcontractor or an employee or a commissioned barber or an independent contractor of that salon or that barber shop or that franchise or that, Great Clips, Supercuts, whatever it is. You are still building a brand for yourself. You are still building a name for yourself. And that's one thing I've really started to realize. Like, I don't know in 5 years if people are really going to be filling out resumes and job interviews. The people that are going to be hiring you or bringing you on with their team or collabing with you or working with you, they're already going to have done the research. They are, they're going to Google you. They're going to Facebook and Instagram and social media stalk you before they ever, meet you face to face. Like, they might have a phone interview with you, to get all your information, or you're going to be talking to their hiring manager or, their secretary, and they're going to get all that information. But in 4 or 5 years, people are going to know if they want to hire you off your branding. And that's your education, that's your social media status, that's your Google history, that's your, you're going to see if you're on social media and you're trying to build a, nonprofit or a community service or even a shoe store or a coffee shop on your own, and you're out every night or every other night getting wild in the club, taking pictures and doing this and drinking and super sloppy and, taking pictures of your friends, beating someone up or always sharing World Star, the fights. And people look at that. People see that. And it might be okay for some, and in certain industries and in certain, genres, nightlife, or, even in the barbering industry, it's kind of accepted, but it's not going to take you to that next level. You have to protect your brand. I've tried pretty hard to protect my brand. I've tried really hard to build my brand. Big T the Barber, it's who I am. Big T Cuts, I use a lot of hashtags. I try to categorize everything with hashtags. And for those of you that don't know what hashtags are, just Google it. It's super easy. It'll give you the definition of it. But it is a place on social media sites or the interwebs to categorize, photos and pictures that those hashtags were used in. So if you go on Instagram and go into the hashtags and put Big T the Barber as a hashtag, it's going to put every picture ever taken by me or anyone else. See, that's the thing. It's anyone else. So if I'm getting people to, hashtag Big T the Barber, I'm wanting it to be a really good picture. I'm not wanting it to be something stupid, because it's going to go into this, photo file online of the interwebs that people can see. And another little thing on hashtags that I want to say. If you're building a business, personally, business-wise, anyway, if you're building a business, figure out how to use hashtags. So for me, who I am, I'm Big T the Barber. Hashtag Big T the Barber. What I do, Big T Cuts. The Big T Talks podcast. Those are what I do. Where am I doing that at? Hashtag Chop Shop Hair Studios, Chop Shop NW, Chop Shop XOXO, or Salon. And I'll use different ones of those. Sometimes I put all of those because I want the picture to go to all those categories as a hashtag. But I don't always. So sometimes I'll use a few of them. But you want who you are, a hashtag for it. What you're doing, a hashtag for it. And where you're at, a hashtag for that. Works really good in the hair industry. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. usually cutting hair, and this is where I'm cutting hair at, the place you're at. So, yeah, that's just a little bit about the hashtag. So let's get back to branding. So, I heard someone talk about it a couple weeks ago about, a lot of companies, especially marketing companies and real estate companies and, even insurance companies, car companies, just all these companies in general, they research you, they check your brand, they look at your brand on the internet, and they find out if they're going to hire you before they even hire you. So protect your brand, build your brand up. I'm trying to build my brand huge. I am trying to build a podcast right now. I'm trying to build the business of barbering right now. I'm trying to build Big T the Barber and the Big T Talks, Big T Cuts. I'm trying to build all those as a big umbrella, brand for me personally. Now, under those, I have, the Chop Shop I'm trying to build a brand for, which over the last 5 years, I think I've done a really good job of it. Me and my team, we do awesome work. Chop Shop XOXO, our salon. We've built an awesome name in the last 3 years for the salon, and it's only going to get better. And the business of barbering, my education company in the hair industry, that's a newbie. That's one of my babies right now. I've only been branding that for 4 or 5 months, and the website's up and running. I don't have a logo for it yet. We're still upgrading the website with new photos, but we're trying to get photos of classes while they're going on and of our educators as we bring those educators on. So that's a build as you go brand. I knew I wanted to do it. I went to GoDaddy. I knew the name I wanted. I didn't think the business of barbering was going to be available. It was. So I bought the domain name. I built the website. I registered it with the state of Oregon. And now I have an education company. Just like that. Those 4 simple steps right there, and we're up and running. There's other steps I'm working on now for that brand. The business of barbering needs a logo. As we bring on more educators, I'm going to have to do a facelift to the website and get the website updated. And, websites are huge. I have had a couple conversations over the years with people like, do you think I really need a website with, having a Facebook page or an Instagram page and people being able to find you on Yelp and the internet? And, every time people are like, yes, you need a website. People go to the website. You need a link, even on those Facebook pages and Instagram pages, you need a link so people can click and go to your website. And it's true. It's 100% true. I was against it. Not really against it, but I didn't think I needed it at first. But I sold a class that I'm going to teach here in a couple weeks off my website. Someone asked me about it. I sent them the link to the website. They went on the website. They selected the class they wanted. They sent me an email back through the website and booked the class. That right there, that class pays for my whole website for the year, probably for 2 years, plus the update I'm going to do to the website. And that might not have happened if I didn't send them the link. If I was like, hey, just give me a call, or hey, text me, or hey, look at my Facebook page, that class might not have got sold. So I do think you need a website. And it needs to be not just a landing, like a splash page. It needs to be an actual functioning website that can be on a PC, that can be on a tablet, that can be on your mobile phone, that looks good, super easy to use. I'm trying to redo my BigTTalks.com podcast website right now. Right now, it kind of is a splash page for me to put the links up so people can listen to the podcast. And sometimes I put the link on it for YouTube. Sometimes I put the link on it for iTunes. Sometimes I, put the link for Spreaker, trying to get everyone out there. And I still have all my old stuff from my original podcast I was doing on there, so people can go back and listen to those. But I would like to update that, get some drop-down menus, so I do have, like, here's the YouTube stuff, here is upcoming events that I have, here's some inspiration stuff, maybe here's contact info, here's, having the embedded mobile, player, so people could just listen while they're at work at their desk and just click, on the embedded player and listen to it right there. And then people can ask me questions on there and subscribe to the website when new stuff comes out. I'm still working on that part of it. That's not my strong suit. Working on websites and building websites can be pretty